5 weeks on into this fantastic championship season, and on Wisconsin once again here on Turn 200, Road America, our beloved, plays host to week number 5, rounds 9 and 10, the halfway mark of season number 4 of the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Howdy folks, it's Tommy Cook. Matt Williamson will be alongside momentarily. Happy to be back here on a Wednesday night. Let's take a look at the point standings after Indianapolis last week. For the GT3s, Johnny Alford, the bagman, incredibly consistent this season, and that has kept him up at the top of the heap. Joshua Hagee, Brody Gunter, Kevin Minomi, and Jeff Mathis. Things stayed relatively the same outside of a swap for Hagee and Gunter in the point standings in the top 5 of the GT3s. For the GT4s, of course, you see down there in green, that is Hunter Entgrave. He has made the swap to GT3s after being the points leader after nearly every single event in the GT4s this season. He's still in the top 5 in points, but obviously he's not going to be gaining any more points. Rick Thompson or Indica Scarlett should move into that position after our 2 events here tonight. Johnny Hamby now the points leader. Rhett Nichols, Rene Garcia, Alex Howland have all moved up 1 position, but they have not moved amongst themselves. Johnny Hamby, fairly comfortable lead at 14 points. Obviously, that can shrink pretty quickly if disaster were to strike him. But 14 points, nothing to sneeze at heading into Road America tonight. The big 4-mile track out in BFE, Wisconsin, playing host to 2 races here tonight, the 20-minute dash and the 40-minute feature. Qualifying is underway. We'll have the conclusion of it for you when we return around the turn here on Turn 200.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the 2 women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Presentation. Welcome back to Turn 200's live coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship from Road America. Matt Williamson, welcome in to the broadcast here, truly in the middle of nowhere in Wisconsin. I don't know if you've had the pleasure of coming here or not. I was not trying to come here. I was just driving out in the country in Wisconsin, going to meet up with a friend of mine, and saw the road sign, truly just out in the sticks, north of Milwaukee. But that doesn't make it any less special here in the hearts and minds of the drivers and broadcasters alike.
Yeah, I can't say I've been here, but it's certainly a place I would love to go to at some point. It's one of our favorites here on the channel to go to on Road America. And this one, I'm very much looking forward to this one. This is one that we had circled. Of course, Indy Bike was going to be the number one for me, but this comes in at a pretty close second.
This is the track of the schedule where we shake hands and we say, yeah, we're looking forward to this one. I've got my favorite probably of the season coming up next week, Suzuka. May not be the best racing, but it's the track I'm maybe the most excited for outside of Knock Hill down the stretch here. That's going to be a wild night of racing. But don't sleep on Road America. If you were here, I believe 2 Sundays ago with the Mission R Challenge Top Split Strength of Field broadcast, you know what Road America can produce. It produced absolute carnage and chaos for an entire 20 minutes. And it just so happens this dash race here tonight is going to be 20 minutes. So many trouble spots around Road America.
Yeah, there really are, and a lot of them come kind of in the first half of the lap when we get some tighter turns. I mean, I guess, first of all, we have to talk about turn 1. We have seen absolute carnage in previous events there down in turn 1 here at Road America. And there are a lot of cars on the track here today. Today could be no different. But, I mean, after that, you got the big slowdown downhill into a tight left-hander. That one's always tricky as well. Of course, you got the carousel. The carousel here with kind of being a little bit off camber and kind of going down a hill as well. That seems tricky to me. It trips me up often too. There's just a lot of places, like you said, to get yourself into trouble around here.
Especially with the caveat, more so for the feature race, of we're going to have some GT4 traffic out there for the lead class to try and navigate. Not a whole lot of room to operate around here, especially with those extra tight turns coming up here. Hello to everybody that's hanging out with us. Shout out to Jeff Mathis, who is not out on the track, unfortunately. That will cost him a spot in the top 5 in the standings, I would imagine. But we'll see Jeff hopefully back from Suzuka next week. And shout out to Goodleaf Archives as always. Shout out to anybody that was with us last night for the great Nate race. We're missing Nate here today. He's one of the 4 drivers that has parked it in Victory Lane this season with the GT3 class in the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Drivers are taking to the grid for the 20-minute dash race, and they will line up like this. Brody Gunser with the pole time. He's the only sub 2:05 driver in the standings. Or in the qualifying chart, that is. He will lead the field to green next to Hunter Engrave. Remember, he's made the swap from GT4s to GT3s. These two split the races amongst themselves in Indianapolis last week. Kevin Bonomi is also a winner this season. He will line up at 3rd. Josh Heggie has been knocking on the door over and over and over again. Countless podium finishes. Still looking for that first dub on the season. Kevin Burrows with nice pace in quali. He will round out your top 5 starters. And James Lehman, another driver who's looked strong at multiple points this season, will start on the outside of row number 3. The points leader, Johnny Alford, the man with the consistency problem. It's a nice problem to have, and he is going to have some work to do here starting in P7. Matt Schlosser will line up to his outside in 8th. JJ Wang and Mike Pepper is back, rounding out your top 10 starters. Jarrell Williams, the GT4 champion in the GT3, still looking for his first win of the season. Ryan Deese will line up to his outside in P12. Andy Poliski and Kyle Zittel are both here. They're on row number 7. Steve Roman is back as well, starting at 15th, and Dave Payton will start at 16th. Casey Campbell and Joshua Rutherford for the GT3s will have to start all the way at the tail end of this field. They did not post a qualifying lap. We'll go over to the GT4s, and back in Season 1, Dave Seats, the champion of Season 1, won here. So he will line up on the pole for the GT4 class. Johnny Hamby, a winner last week for the first time in ASRL competition, he will line up to his outside. Row number 2 then is Rhett Nichols, another winner from last week, starting in the third position. Nick Batista finished second in the dash race last week. We'll start fourth here for this one. Indica Scarlett, Kenny step on the third row. It's Dan Miglin and Rick Thompson on row 4. Alex Allen into the top 5 in the point standings. He and Fred Thompson share row number 5, and Corey Rutherford crashed on his qualifying attempt, did not get to post a time, so he will start shotgun on the field here tonight. It was pretty foggy. I think some of the fog has dissipated. It's still a little murky out there around this big 4-mile, 14-turn circuit, though. Matt Williamson, what are the track conditions here, and what are the strategy notes ahead of the dash race?
Yeah, sun started coming out a little bit here, burnt off a little bit of that fogginess, but still some clouds, some overcast in the air. 81 degrees on the track temperature and cloudy right now. Ambient temperature is only 66 degrees, so it should stay pretty cool as we move on throughout here. Fuel capacity is set at 45% for the classes. Of course, the 20-minute dash race is not going to be an issue. They're going to get to go all the way through. When we get to the feature, there will be a pit stop needed for both classes. They do get 2 sets of tires and a faster pair. I feel like there may be quite a few faster pairs used, as Corey Rutherford just went for a spin on the pace lap, it looks like. 14X is a drive-through penalty, a 19X is a disqualification. Don't think that will come into play big time here as far as off-track penalties goes, but again, lots of incidents may occur, so that's where that would come into play likely. Full court cautions can be triggered here, but there's a lot of room down there in turn 1, so I doubt that will happen. Expecting 9 to 10 laps here for the sprint race, 17 to 20 for the feature, and we are rolling through Johnsonville, Brought Speedville right now, and getting ready to get on rolling. It's just, I feel like we say this every week with this series, but this start is going to go one of 2 ways.
It certainly is. And like I said a couple of weeks ago here, it was an absolute disastrous standing start for the drivers of the Mission Art Challenge Top Split Strength of Field broadcast. Yeah, it was a wild one. Could see that same thing come into effect here. I don't remember off the top of my head. I only watched the broadcast from last week one time. You did a nice job, by the way. Congrats on the solo. I don't know why I'm congratulating you. Thank you for doing the broadcast by yourself, but you did do a nice job. Was Brody Gunter sporting this sort of police car livery last week as well?
He was not. This is brand new for Brody, so good to see that out there. It gives off Need for Speed vibes heavily.
Burnout.
Like the old 2000, or circa 2005 to 2010 Need for Speed. That is what that livery reminds me of. I'm loving it.
God forgive me for what I'm about to say. I don't even think Brody Gunter was alive for that.
Oh dear.
Yep.
My personal favorite in the series was the original Need for Speed Most Wanted. That was goated in my opinion.
Very, very good indeed. Well, no matter his age, he's got the most wins in ASRL Sports Car Championship competition. He's the 2-time and defending series champion, but he's got company up front here as Brody Gunter, Hunter Engrave, Kevin Bonomi, and Josh Heggie, the front 2 rows here for the GT3s, leading the field to green at Road America. Round number 9 is underway. Seats and Hamby on the front row for the GT4s. Everybody is about to hit that brake pedal for the first time here into turn number 1.
Oh, a couple drivers off.
That's Josh Heggie.
Dirt. Yeah, Heggie was out there for a while, but most of the others seem to get through pretty well here.
Seats has been unseated. Now Johnny Hamby falls back to second. Dave Seats will retake the lead for the GT4s. It's Gunter up front ahead of Bonomi. Engrave falling back to third.
Big drafts coming here for the downhill slowdown. Front 2 of the GT4s are right on top of each other. Here comes a dive from Hamby to the inside.
Hamby peeking here. Oh,
Scarlett!
Big trouble behind them.
Scarlett contact with Corey Rutherford.
And Rhett Nichols goes around into the sand. So problems there. Scarlett will come out in third. Nick Batista has reassumed fourth, but big problems for Ken Estep now as well, trapped in the sand trap ahead of the hurry downs. Well, Matt Schlosser with a bit of an off track. He won here in the Venom Truck Series a few months ago. He's under fire from J.J. Wang for 8th overall.
And I do take that back. That was Rhett Nichols that the contact occurred with between Scarlett and Nichols. I saw the 555s there, and I'm just used to Rutherford having that number in a lot of places. So I assumed that I was wrong.
We did just have a problem. Corey Rutherford has gone around. Rick Thompson was involved with that as well. Rutherford goes into the bend section. It's all Gunter up front. Bonomi in second. Engrave has dropped back quite a bit here, outside of a second and a half to the race lead. Seats and Hamby still pretty close here as well.
Yeah, we were watching the contact between Nichols and Scarlett. I thought that Hamby was going to be able to take the position on the inside there, but obviously did not get it done. Seats still out front here in the GT4s.
They will have Joshua Rutherford to contend with. He'll pull to the right side of this long front straightaway here. Should have no problem getting past the top two in the GT4 class.
Side-by-side battle between Kevin Burrows, James Lehman. Lehman gonna get the best of it here down into turn one. Oh! Engrave is off!
Hunter Engrave goes off the left side of the hurry downs here.
Oh,
rather the kettle bottoms. He's out of the top 10 here.
Yeah, it took him a long time to try and get that corral. Once you get in the grass, it's so slippery. I mean, you can't really do a whole lot about it. And, yeah, he has lost a lot of positions, has a lot of ground to make up here.
Well, in theory, that should put him sitting nicely here for the invert that's to come in about 16 minutes and 50 seconds. But that's not the way he wanted to start off the evening, no doubt. Brody Gunter with a 1-second lead over Kevin Bonomi. It's now James Lehman who's moved up to third after that pass on Kevin Burrows. Burrows at fourth. Johnny Alford has moved up to fifth now.
Joshua Heggie just made a move on Mike Pepper. Jarrell Williams here in the fight as well. Shout out to Renee Garcia in the chat, cheering on the team and Black Ice, by the way.
Mike Pepper had a bit of an off track there. He's lost some time. Jarrell Williams, speaking of Black Ice Racing, he is pulling right up to Pepper. That'll be for, I believe, 11th.
Lots of folks.
Canada.
Sporting.
Oh, go ahead.
Wow, that is a tight spot there. Lots of drivers sporting new liveries here tonight.
Yeah, we're all showing out for Road America. Kyle Zittle's showing up for Road America. I'm not too sure this isn't his first, maybe third start of the season. I can't remember if he was a Watkins Glen or not. But
I was going to say
a rare left and right appearance for the Zittle man.
Yeah, may have been a Watkins Glen, but I think you're right. Has only made 1 or 2 appearances thus far.
Well, he's a Wisconsinite, and he wasn't going to miss this one.
Joshua Heggie looking to get around Brian Deese, and is going to get it done down the front straightaway. Purple lap for Brody Gunter.
Yes, indeed. He's cooking and booking up front.
Dave Seats has kept Johnny Hamby at bay. Hamby a few car lengths behind and has been there for a majority of the last lap or two. Hamby was all over Seats there for quite a while, but started to slip back just a little bit.
I would imagine this is going to be one of the tougher courses for the GT4s to make passes and make stuff happen. As Mike Pepper, I think, has had another problem. He's just lost 11th now to Kyle Zittle. But he's back on track in quite the train here. Three cars within a second for third. Lehman leading Burrows and Alford.
And up ahead of the trouble for Pepper, J.J. Wang has gotten around Brian Deese as well. So Wang's starting to work his way up a little bit. Didn't have the greatest start of the race, but getting his footing underneath him, starting to make up a couple positions here.
And Jarrell Williams maybe sizing up another move here into Canada corner. He got it done around the outside last time he was here, and now he's got Brian Deese in front of him. But now it'll be Williams looking to the inside, and we'll outbrake the 17, and Deese going to hang tough here into the left-hander, but Williams clears.
Yeah, that left-hander coming up the hill, that is a tight corner, almost kind of like a blind corner as well a little bit. That's a tough one if you're side by side, but Williams able to make it work.
And Brian D says, damn, that was a nice move over the radio. I concur. Really, the only battle we got in the GT4s right now is Dan Miglin trying to take back the 6th position. Rick Thompson just took it from him. But Thompson going to hang tough here through Canada Corner.
Yeah, Batista's reeling in Indica Scarlett here as well, but those two have been close together for quite a while now. Scarlett has done well up to this point to hang on to that 3rd spot.
Yeah, Batista trying to pop that 0.3 of a second bubble, and it has not happened yet. But you're right, hanging tough. Anything can happen here. We still got over half this race to go. Brody Gunter has checked out to the tune of about 1.6 seconds over Kevin Bonomi. Dave Seats with just over a 1 second advantage on Johnny Hamby right now for the class leads. And Jarrell and Brian Deese still continuing to battle. Deese has just retaken that 9th position. Jarrell did not hit him with a damn, that was a nice move. Oh, Kevin Burrows has just gone off the track, and he was in 4th. That'll give Johnny Alford now the 4th spot.
Yep, gives Johnny Alford that 4th spot, and also gives quite a bit of breathing room to James Lehman as well, who's sitting in 3rd right now.
So we'll see if Lehman can shift his focus forward now. He's got about 2.4 seconds to catch up to Kevin Bonomi for 2nd. And Bonomi keeps slipping behind Brody Gunter, who is perpetually piping in purple laps.
Hunter Engrav, who had that off track a few laps ago, has finally caught some of his own class. First up here is Steve Vroman, makes his way around Vroman. There's a pretty good line of cars here for Engrav to be able to pick off one by one here over the next 11 minutes or so.
And you talked about the gap between Batista and Scarlett. All of a sudden, Batista has overtaken Scarlett for the 3rd position in the GT4 class. So it happened rather quick.
We'll take a look at that replay here in a moment, but Poliski looking to make a move on Mike Pepper down into turn 1. Poliski gonna send it in there. Pepper looking for a bit of a crossover.
Pepper going to be under fire from Engrav right behind him.
Yeah, Engrav right here to try and take that position, and we'll get it done. So let's go ahead and take a look at that pass for 3rd here in the GT4 class. This is coming downhill into that tight left-hander. And Batista just dives to the inside and makes it stick. Pretty common place to make a move right there.
Just want to say this while we're watching Hunter work through the field. To all of our drivers out there. We love Hunter to death, by the way. Nothing against him. If we're saying your name wrong, can you please tell us? So we don't call, 17 race victories with your last name being pronounced incorrectly?
It was shocking to know that I had been saying it wrong for like 2 years almost.
Yep.
And I felt
how many
terrible.
times we've had him up here in the booth and he's not said anything. I mean, he's a humble man.
He's
and
very humble.
Very good sim driver as well.
Even after the races last week, he's so humble and just doesn't really care a whole lot about it that he said, "I appreciate you guys saying my name correctly, but if you want to say it wrong, that's okay." And I said, "No, I don't think so. I think we'll just go ahead and say it right."
Good man, and making good progress here on his way back up through the field. He's up to 12th. Couple of drivers sizing up moves. Mike Pepper and Aiden Poliski still battling here. It's for 13th. And Pepper will take it back.
And Engram tried to get to the inside of Deese. Oh, these two are fighting back. Pepper and Poliski cannot get it settled.
I think Dave Seats has had a big slip-up because all of a sudden Johnny Hamby is within half a second. Hamby was a little bit quicker last time around, but that gap has continued to shrink here.
And Ingrab does get the move made down the hill, but Poliski's still not able to get back around Mike Pepper, so Pepper hangs on to it. But while they battle, Steve Rowan's been able to pull right up to them as well.
Corey Rutherford having a tough time out there. I think he just exceeded the incident limits. He had a 4X before we even took the green flag, so he'll look for greener pastures in the feature race, I'm sure.
Here's that battle for the GT4 lead.
Somebody sent it behind them. Not sure who that was.
I'm not sure either. May have been
Casey
a
Campbell.
lapped- Yeah, I think it was the lapped vehicle.
But regardless, Hamby outbraking Seats there big time into turn number 5. But Seats able to open that gap back up here down the long straight.
It's so hard on the GT4 cars to really dive it down in somewhere because you really have to keep the momentum up in these cars. And if you take a big dive, but you have to slow down quite a bit through the middle of the corner, you almost hurt yourself more than you help yourself sometimes. So it's a tricky thing to make passes here in the GT4 class.
Williams, Zittel, Engrav, Deese all pretty close together here. That is 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. Engrav, of course, on the way up. Zittel trying to stay in the top 10.
Oh, somebody
off in the grass.
That was Steve Vroman, who was right behind that battle between Poliski and Pepper. So Vroman's going to fall off of those two by quite a large margin. Here goes Engrav past Kyle Zittel. Zittel going to go to the outside to let Engrav through and try to keep pace.
All Brody Gunter out front over a 3-second lead for him. Kevin Bonomi's got 2 seconds back to James Lehman, who's got about a second and a quarter back to Johnny Alford. Kevin Burrows, 1 second and a quarter behind Johnny Alford as well. That's your top 5 for the GT3s. Dave Seats and Johnny Hamby still pretty close together here. They run 1-2. Nick Batista, distant third. Indica Scarlets hanging right with Batista, though, looking to take that 3rd spot back. And Alex Howland right now, distant 5th place.
Indica Scarlet starting to catch up to Nick Batista here. Had fallen off a little bit, but now reeling back in.
Yeah, once Batista got back through on Scarlet, Scarlet's not really gone anywhere. Batista, so close to taking what would have been, I believe, a first career ASRL Sports Car Championship victory last week in the Dash at Indianapolis. But instead, it was first-time winner Johnny Hamby. Hamby looking for a second here. Continues to chomp away at the gap up to Dave Seats.
Hamby's been able to reel Seats in a couple of times and take small jabs, but hasn't been able to throw that left or right hook yet. So looking for the opportunity for the big blow.
Well, we don't have many more opportunities to get back to the corner and regroup. Only 4 minutes left to go, about 2 laps left in this one.
Matt Schlosser and Joshua Heggie have been battling pretty hard here for the 6th position.
Yeah, Heggie with those early problems in turn 1 is really yet to recover. We talked about him being on the podium almost every race this season. This is going to be a rare finish outside of the top 5.
He's going to take a dive for 6th and
Great
clear
move.
Schlosser. Wow, I looked like he was going to get in there a little bit too hot. Thought he might overshoot the corner, but is able to corral it. Nice move there.
Hunter Engrav was sizing up a move on Jarrell Williams, but Williams ran wide and Canada corner into the sand trap, so that will allow Hunter to get up to 9th now. He didn't want to take the benefit of that invert. He wants to start towards the back, I guess. More problems for Steve Roman. He's back off into the sand trap. Indica Scarlet is right here on the bumper of Nick Batista for 3rd. Seats still keeping Hamby at bay.
Scarlett looking for that opportunity that only comes once ever so often. Has a huge run here. Not able to do much with it that time, but now going to go through the carousel and try to mount a charge down into Canada.
Maybe
Johnny,
just a bit outside of range, but yes, Johnny Hamby right here. He's going to make a move into Canada. Oh, rolls out of it, though. We've got a car off in front of them. I think it was Casey Campbell again.
Hamby maybe just trying to kind of scare Dave into a little bit of a mistake there, but Dave Seats unwavering.
Pretty Gunter's coming through Canada corner right now. He'll be coming to the white flag. Nearly a 5-second advantage for him. It's his to lose at this point.
Wow, Hamby
Here's
right
Hamby.
up to the bumper. Looked like it was nearly contact there. I think Hamby had to back off a little bit there down into turn 1.
I really said here's Hamby when here's Johnny is right there in front of me, huh?
You don't like to take the easy ones.
Apparently not. I was all about softballs, but I guess not. Here's Hamby, a bit of a run. Not going to be quite enough here. Through the kettle bottoms. Keeping Dave Seats honest, though, that's for sure.
Yeah, Seats definitely having to work for it. Not getting this one easy whatsoever.
Higgy and Burrows and Schlosser will be going at it for 5th here overall. As Hamby looking for 2 dash wins in a row. Seats looking to get back to victory lane for the first time this season.
Hamby looking for another run here down into Canada corner. Not even going to take the peak to the inside this time.
Zeros on the clock here. I don't think these guys are getting the checkers this time.
No, Gunter well into this lap, but this will be the white flag for Seats in Hamby as well.
So 1 to go for these two. Dave Seats, Johnny Hamby. Nick Batista's left Scarlett behind to the tune of about a second. And it's Brody Gunter coming up the pit straight, going up the hill as a winner again. He's won at least one race every week this season, and that streak continues. Brody Gunter takes Road America in the dash. Kevin Bonomi in 2nd. James Lehman will round out that podium. Johnny Alford in 4th. Kevin Burrows in 5th. Josh Hagee in 6th. And now, We'll shift our attention back to the battle for the win here for the GT4s. They are in turn number 5. Seats looked a bit unsteady under braking, but gets a good launch off of the corner. Trying to get out of swipe range into Canada, you got to set yourself up 3 or 4 corners ahead.
Yeah, that's where Hamby has had the best runs.
Oh.
Have to believe that's the spot that he's looking towards, but has to have a great run here through the carousel to be able to make it happen.
Well, that checkup cost him. He nearly piled into the back of Seats' number 44. And that checkup, I think, is going to get him out of range here into Canada corner. Seats still needs to execute. Hamby closing, but not closing enough. Unless we get a bonsai move here into Canada corner, Dave Seats might have this one wrapped up. Hamby sends it, closes it to a car length.
Don't count out this final corner. We've seen plenty of passes made there in our time here at Road America as well.
Hamby continues to rope him in. Does he have enough for a dive bomb? He does not. Dave Seats keeps it on the tarmac. Dave Seats is going to hang on up the hill here. How about the Season 1 champ? Getting back to victory lane here in Season 4. Dave Seats wins the GT4 feature. Well executed race by Dave Seats. Johnny Hamby will finish in second. It's Nick Batista to round out the podium. Indica Scarlett will finish in 4th. Pretty good opening race here. We got a 40-minute feature on the way, but first a word from the folks who help pay the bills here on Turn 200 and with the American Sim Racing League. Back to Road America to talk to your Dash Race winners in just a moment.
A blind knight that uses echolocation, viewing the dark, treacherous world through sound. Trapped in a dungeon keep, endangered by combatants, where hazards lurk around every corner. Make sound to have vision, or don't and be stealthy. Avoid impaling threats throughout the dungeon to escape. Engage with other prisoners.
Rogue Knight I've been hearing about. Could you find the key and unlock my cell?
Free them to fight back with more allies.
Let's take this guy.
The dungeon labyrinth has many paths and even more traps. Struggle through the darkness to find your freedom.
When Alex became a god, he thought he would have no problems at all. Until... He landed in the Divine Dimension and was tasked with protecting the entire multiverse.
Am I connected to every single Alex Ambrose that ever existed?
Alex could travel across dimensions, defying the laws of time and space, to help other Alexes throughout the multiverse. But then everything changed.
No! Aw!
I have to go back and save them.
But if Alex went back to the mortal world, he would relinquish all of his power and his memories.
I don't have a choice. I must go back.
When Alex returned back to Earth, he goes back to being your average business tycoon millionaire, unaware that the people he cared most about are in danger.
Someone help me!
Yvonne, what happened?
I was attacked by a monster. Alex? What's going on? Get away from him! He is my boyfriend!
Who attacked Yvonne in the forest? What will Debbie do next? Who will Alex choose between the two women? Will Alex ever remember who he was before traveling into a different multiverse? To hear what happens next and whether Alex can stop the deranged monster before he strikes again, listen to the original audio drama, Insta Millionaire Returns, only on Pocket FM. Download the app now and find out.
Turn 200's coverage of the ASRL Sports Car Championship, week number 5 from Road America, is presented by Eminent Signs and Graphics, Mullet Music Productions, CJR Graphics, and the American Sim Racing League, celebrating 25 years of sim racing excellence.
Alright, folks, we are back from the mid-roll here with the winner of the GT4 Dash race, and that is Dave Seats. Congratulations, partner.
Thank you, man.
Well, it wasn't without you having to work for it. You certainly had plenty of pressure from behind, pretty much that entire 20 minutes.
Oh, definitely. I was for sure that he was going to get me. They were quicker in practice, but it's just, try to minimize mistakes and stay in the front.
Well, you certainly did that well. Johnny had a couple of shots at you. I think he was really more just trying to maybe scare you into a little bit of a mistake. But from your point of view, when you kind of see him moving to the inside of you, I mean, how much do you pay attention to that rear view, and how much are you driving out the windshield?
It depends. Like, I'll look and see how close they are in the relative and kind of judge if there's a move that I need to cover off. As long as I have a few tenths of a second, unless it's a full-on send, which, I mean, it can happen, but I feel like he was a pretty solid racer, that I was pretty comfortable with the line that I was running.
Well, you certainly ran the selected lines quite well. Anybody you'd like to thank here?
The guys that put on the league, you guys up in the booth, and my TLDR teammates and Full Send Graphics does our cars for us.
Alrighty, sounds great. Well, congratulations again, and good luck here in the feature race.
Thank you very much. Have a good evening, gentlemen.
And we'll now pull in your race winner here for the GT3 race. How about it for Brody Gunter? 5th win on the season, 35th of your career. Welcome back. Nicely done.
Thank you, guys. Yeah, it's nice to trying to keep the streak of winning at every track so far. Luckily I was able to keep it today, but very fun track. I love Road America. Happy we're back to normal sports car tracks.
Well, savor it while it lasts. It's not going to last very long. But, yeah, you looked mighty comfy up front. I mean, a couple of people that, have had speed on you at certain points this season immediately had problems. Hunter Engraf goes off the track. Josh Heggie goes off the track. I mean, that only helps your case soldiering on through 20 minutes here.
Yes, sir, definitely. I had the y'all's broadcast actually right in front of me on my phone. Every time I looked down, I kept seeing people spin out the entire time, so I was wondering, what was happening back there. But I feel like I wasn't really having a major issues with like getting loose off corners and off tracks, although I'm upset myself for going off track in turn 1 for no reason at all and losing my 0x like that. But other than that, I've pretty much enjoyed the track so far. Just not looking forward to starting last this next race.
I was going to say, you've been blessed with the opportunity, once again, by winning the Dash race, to have to go to the back of this heap here. A pretty healthy field, a pretty good field as well for anybody that doesn't find trouble up front. Going to be interesting here. Not a whole lot of room to navigate through Road America.
Yes, sir, definitely. I've tried to talk with Corey, see if I could put lights on top of my car to maybe get people to pull over. He didn't let that happen, so we're going to see, hopefully, that we just try and intimidate everyone to wreck or get out of my way, potentially.
I was going to say that car looks mighty fine out at the front of this field. We'll see how it looks coming up through the field. But regardless, let's get your shout-outs going as usual.
I guess Mullet Music Productions, CGI Graphics, ASRL, Turn 200, and my family.
Alrighty, partner. Good luck. Hopefully we'll talk to you again at the end of the next one.
Yes, sir. Hopefully.
iRacing ought to do that. We ought to get the oscillating police lights as an additional feature to any car that you want. I think I think running Talladega with Xfinity cars at night with everybody having police lights would be a gag.
Lord. that would be something. That is for certain.
So we've got this invert here. Bertie Gunter, I mean, he's won 4 dash races this season. He's had to do this 3 times already. It's not gone very well either of those 3 times. I kind of flip-flopped it last week. I think maybe you're the good luck charm for him. But regardless, not a whole lot of room to operate. He's got a lot of the fast guys right in front of him as well. Of course, with Bonomi and Lehman to work through. Not a whole lot of the faster guys finding big-time problems here on this invert. Joshua Rutherford can hold a pretty wheel up front. Casey Campbell, we saw him go off track a couple of times. He's in a hotel room right now, apparently, and is holding the steering wheel as he's driving. So he says he's just making 1 lap and is going to retire for the night. He just wants the show-up points. That's an incredible feat already. But staring down the barrel of 40 minutes here. I'm sure nerves are high for some of the drivers that are at the back of the starting lineup.
Yeah, certainly. I mean, you go with the invert. You got, some of the drivers that might not feel as comfortable towards the front of the field, starting at the front, barreling down into turn 1. That's a daunting task for sure. Something that we kind of talked about with Hunter a lot last week, switching classes. We didn't necessarily talk about any of the other drivers that Hunter was getting added into their class to pose a whole different myriad of things that could potentially happen. But we got a lot of drivers from the Venom Truck Series here as well that aren't always here on Wednesdays, and a lot of them know their way around this place pretty darn well. So, I mean, there are a lot of drivers here in the GT3 class that can really make it happen.
And we will see what everybody has in store, not just for the GT3s, but for the GT4s as well. I think this is going to be an interesting invert as well. It would be a little bit more interesting if Rhett Nichols were here. I think he is done for the night, though. He threw in the towel after the lap 1 crash. So he's going to be listed on the poll for the GT4s, but he's not in the session. So we'll get to them in a second. GT3's gridding up right now. Well, really, the whole field is gridding up right now. But we'll start with the GT3 class. It will be Dave Payton, or actually it will be Casey Campbell on the pole. I would imagine he's going to start for the pits, however. Dave Payton on that front row. Joshua Rutherford, Steve Roman on the second row. Andy Poliski and Mike Pepper on row 3. Kyle Zittel and Brian Deese on the 4th row. Jarrell Williams and Hunter Engrav on row 5. JJ Wang, Matt Schlosser, row 6. Joshua Hagee and Kevin Burrows on the 7th row. Johnny Alford, James Lehman, Kevin Bonomi, and Bertie Gunter all the way at the back of the starting lineup here for the GT3s. For the GT4s, you mentioned Rhett Nichols. He's not here. Corey Rutherford is here. He'll be on the front row, I'm assuming next to Fred Thompson, who should move up 1. Kenny Stepp and Dan Miglin on the next row. Then it's Rick Thompson, Alex Howland, Indica Scarlett, Nick Batista, Johnny Hamby, and Dave Seats starting all the way back in the 12th position here. Well, what do we have to look forward to here for 40 minutes around Road America?
Well, lots of what you just saw. Close battles, bumper to bumper. Obviously have the pit stop that's going to be coming up here as well. So timing of that might not be as crucial here. There's a lot more track for everybody to have to get around. I think it makes more of a difference when we have, a 2.5 mile road circuit, but when you got over 4 miles here, it makes it a little bit easier to pick and choose when you're going to come down pit road, in my opinion. So maybe not as much strategy to play here, but you still got to pick your spots well. Of course, everything still applies. 1 fast repair, a couple sets of tires. 14x drive-through is a drive-through penalty, and 19x will be a disqualification. That's definitely something that we're going to have to pay a little bit more attention to, but other than those folks that had some off-tracks, I don't think there's a whole lot of off-tracks running the regular lines here. It's only for incidents and crashes that you're going to need to really be careful with that. We're looking 13 to 15 laps before they have to come down pit road, and we're only expecting at the max probably 20 laps here. So drivers can go a majority of their way through the race without having to come down pit road. we have seen many differing strategies over the last few weeks as far as that goes. So going to be interesting to see when everybody feels they need to come down, and of course the invert going to play the crucial role that it always does.
Could see some drivers take that the other way as well, with only about, say, 3 laps, 4 laps maybe, before they can come in and be good to go to the end on fuel. Wonder if we'll have any short stoppers. I would imagine if anybody finds trouble early, that'll be the strategy, but I wonder if anybody that's going to keep it clean, or at least hope to, will maybe try and flip this race the other direction.
Yeah, certainly I think the track size kind of opens you up to a little bit more of that potentially. I would say that you would want to go probably 5 laps to be safe, that you'd be able to make it all the way to the end, 5 or 6. But after that, you're good to go whenever you want to.
Well, it's the Rutherford boys up front. Joshua lead in the GT3s, Corey lead in the GT4s. And to Don Golden's point in the chat, yes, Corey's race was immediately hampered last time around after some contact with Fred Thompson. Sent him off, had some damage, got an early penalty after, I believe, having to miss another accident that had happened. But, hopefully it starts off better for not just for Corey, but for everybody as well. I mean, early problems for Hunter Engrav and for Joshua Heggie really hampered their races as well. They're going to be starting a little bit further up in this inverted field than they normally do. So it'll be a good opportunity for them to maybe stay ahead of Brody Gunter. Maybe. Gunter's on another level right now. Not that Hunter hasn't been. They've won the same amount of races this season, but across 2 different classes for Hunter, that is. Two turns left to go, and all the talk will dissipate. It'll be time to execute at the front of the field here for Joshua Rutherford and Dave Payton. Pace car is off. Payton and Joshua Rutherford lead in the field on the uphill. And the green flag waves. Into turn 1 we go. Andy Poliski on the outside of Dave Payton here will take second. One driver is off. That's Kyle Zittel. Corey Rutherford leads the GT4s.
Zittel able to safely get back on the track, not lose a ton of positions there, so did a good job getting back on.
Poliski will overtake the pole sitter, Dave Payton, move him back to third officially as we head through the kettle bottoms.
Wow,
Brian
lots
Dees trying
of
to
fanning
outbrake.
out.
That was Hunter Engrav that went off there into the runoff on the right side.
Oh, looks like Corey Rutherford with a bit of a bobble there, but able to stay on the front row at least. But Ken Eastep going to get it through now. No, still side by side.
Rutherford fighting back, has the preferred positioning here, but will let up to let Ken Eastep take the lead. Now he's under fire from Rick Thompson. Battling just outside of the top 5 here, J.J. Wang is moving forward. Josh Heggie is stuck on the outside of the carousel, but will hold off Hunter Engrav for now. Oh, Rutherford goes off track, so does Andy Poliski. Poliski pounds the barriers. Through the bend there.
Whoa.
Oh, everybody's zipping by as Poliski keeping it off track, or at least trying to. Canada Corner is a mess right now.
And Johnny Hamby on the GT4s went off track while all of this was going on as well. So Hamby was already up to
one around. It's Hunter Engrav. Engrav goes for a spin. One more off Matt Schlosser.
Wow. Couple
Brody
of really
Gunter
fast drivers.
Gunter had to take a shortcut not to pile in. So he's got a slowdown penalty to serve. As
Brian
Easton
Deese
leads the GT4s, Joshua Rutherford still leading the GT3s.
Brian Deese under major fire here. Had J.J. Wang and Dave Payton right in tow, but able to hang on to it for right now. Dave Seats is going to get through on Rick Thompson. And Johnny Hamby trying to work his way back through as well. Just got through on Dan Miglin. And now looking towards Indica Scarlet.
Well, Johnny Hamby is going to let traffic through here. Apparently he is blinking quite a bit, is the call over the radio. Bagman Johnny Alford with a pass on Steve Roman.
Lehman right here trying to work his way through as well. Burrows, Darrell Williams, Kevin Bonomi. Lots of very fast drivers, all kind of stuck here together. Darrell Williams just about went for a spin.
Mike Pepper reeling in Joshua Rutherford up front here as they head towards Canada Corner. Pepper chipping away at the race lead. Ken Estep trying to drive away from now Dave Seats, the winner of the last race, who has already worked his way up to second and is closing in on Ken Estep for the GT4 lead once again. Through Canada Corner, Mike Pepper is here, less than a car length. Rutherford trying to scoot away. Steve Roman had a bit of an off track there. He's going to lose 2 spots. He's going to scoot from 6th down to 10th here on this lap alone. Rough lap for the 00. Pepper with the purple lap, and he picked a pint of pickled peppers. James Lehman, Johnny Alford battling door to door here, heading into turn number 3. But through the kettle bottoms we go with Mike Pepper drawing even with the race leader, Joshua Rutherford, headed to turn number 5. Pepper outbreaks Rutherford and will make it stick. How about Mike Pepper to the lead? Here's J.J. Wang, hot on their trail.
Yeah, J.J. Wang, Brian Deese, Joshua Heggie, all of them fairly close here as well. Not letting those top 2 get away.
Dave Seats might have an opportunity to take the lead here into turn number 5 as well. He is sizing up Ken Estep right now. Estep trying to do a little defense, but going to keep the door open for Seats. Seats not going to take it. Oh, but Estep had a bit of a lockup, goes wide. Will open the door for Dave Seats to get back up to the top spot here into turn 6.
And Seats should definitely have the advantage. Yeah, and Estep knows it. He's just going to kind of let him through. And see Don in here after the near catastrophic incident for Corey Rutherford. Corey's still hanging in here in 3rd.
Well, Joshua Rutherford has lost 2nd now to J.J. Wang. So move J.J. to 2nd. Mike Pepper to the lead. This could be a big day here for some drivers that are hungry for a win this season. Top 5 looking for their first W in Season 4.
James Lehman's been picking his way through this GT3 field up to 6th right now.
And it's actually the top 9 looking for their first win here this season. Brady Gunter in 10th spoils that party. Rutherford under fire now, are actually giving chase to Joshua Hagee, who's in P3. And Joshua Rutherford, bit of an off track, will keep the 4th position though. Trying to check out from Brian Deese. Mike Pepper's lead is shrinking little by little as J.J. Wang applying some pressure. J.J. Wang with Joshua Heggie right behind him now.
Brody Gunter.
Oh, Mike Pepper around from the lead, and that will give the top spot to JJ Wang, but JJ not going to have much time to indulge in being in first. Joshua Hagee's right here. Wang had to check up a little bit not to make contact with Pepper, who went wide. And now Hagee's going to be all over him for the race lead into the carousel.
Yeah, and unfortunately for Mike, that was a spot on the racetrack that had to let a lot of people through before he could find his way back on safely. Loses just about every GT3 spot to be lost.
Yeah, down to 15th from the lead in one corner.
Oh,
Josh Hagee
wow.
into the grass there, but hanging right with JJ Wang. The only Ford GT in the field leads it. Josh Hagee, a podium machine this season, still looking for that first dub of Season 4. JJ Wang won a lot of races in the GT4 class last season. No GT3 wins to his credit here in the ASRL Sports Car Championship. Looking to rectify that here, but still over half an hour of racing left to go. Dave Seats, Ken Eastep, Corey Rutherford still the top three in the GT4 class. As Brody Gunter back in the 8th position just clocked the purple lap. Hagee needs to go. He sees Gunter getting closer and closer behind him, even if he does have 6 cars between him.
Indigo Scarlet just made a nice pass through Canada on Dan Miglin. Oh, Miglin fought back as well. So Miglin actually able to hang on to it. And Johnny Hamby is right here with them as well.
Here we go for the lead. Hagee with a dagger into turn 5 and takes it.
Yeah, you saw JJ tried to square it up to get back underneath, but Hagee does a nice job positioning in a defensive spot after making the overtake as well. Nice piece of driving there.
Hagee with the lead. Brody Gunter back in 8th, still looking awfully quick, but still with a lot of drivers to pass. Dave Seats' advantage still over 2 seconds, even as he's had to let Andy Poliski go through.
I'd be curious to see if, with Brody a lot of traffic to try and work through in front of him, if might take an opportunity to pit early here and be able to click off some quick lap times. I'm sure the GT4 traffic he'd get behind would probably let him through fairly easily. A lot easier than his competitors are going to here in the GT3 class, that's for sure.
Well, Gunter's no stranger to an early pit stop. That's Joshua Rutherford that has gone wide in front of them. He'll lose 3 spots. Gunter keeps it out on track this time. He said lap 6 is the magic number. So I would not be surprised to see Gunter, even as he's clicking off some passes here, coming in this time in 3 miles or so.
JJ Wang had a decent run on Joshua Hagee for the lead down into turn 1, but wasn't able to do anything with it. You know, Brody Gunter's working his way through these folks pretty well right now. Might not even be worried about getting himself out of the traffic here. If he can get past the next 2, he'd have a decent little gap to be able to run a couple of pretty quick laps. And those 2 just in front of them is James Lehman and Brian Deese. Lehman up to 4th.
Yeah, Lehman having a pretty good run here. Lehman actually last time around was the fastest driver on the track.
I mean, he's putting in some good laps here.
So So Deese having to worry a little bit. Joshua Hagee pulls a couple car length gap down the long straight into Canada corner on J.J. Wang.
Kevin Bonomi trying to get through on Joshua Rutherford down through Canada and will complete that one. That puts Bonomi up into 9th. Johnny Hamby, Dan Miglin going after it. Indica Scarlett missed the pass that Scarlett did get back around Dan Miglin again after the two of them swapped positions a couple times. Scarlett back into a podium spot here in the GT4 class.
Here goes James Lehman for third on Brian Deese, and he'll take it. So Lehman continues his march to the front.
Now Lehman's on a mission right now.
Gunter's charge is stalled out a little bit. Had some pushback from Kevin Burrows. And Burrows still in 6th. Gunter's still trying to make that work. They've been battling for the better part of the last 2 laps. J.J. Wang kind of hanging in here with Joshua Hagee. No doubt Hagee is trying to get away.
There goes Gunter, a dive down to the inside of Burrows. Going to be side by side, but Gunter should be able to get this position on the inside.
Nope.
Not quite.
Burrows going to stick with it. Nope, rolls out. That will give it. It's interesting, the preferred positioning, that's twice this race, that it's not worked out into turn number 7. Hagee leads by over a second now, and Johnny Hamby, in the thick of it here.
Yeah, Hamby has gotten by Miglin now and has a pretty good gap up to Indica Scarlett, so has a moment to breathe and just run good lap times for right now.
Within a second and a half of him, there's Scarlett ahead, but also 3 drivers behind. Batista, Corey Rutherford, and Alex Howland. So don't get too comfortable.
And it's all Dave Seats up front in that class.
Yeah.
Seats works through the traffic very quickly and has a 6-second gap over Ken Estep.
It looks like Indica Scarlett is cutting into the gap up to Ken Estep as well, so some work to do for Ken to hang on to second here, but still a long way to go. We're only 15 minutes into this 40-minute race. Joshua Hagee leads it. J.J. Wang, James Lehman, Brian Deese, Johnny Alford, the top 5. But the 2 fastest drivers on track right now are 3rd and 6th. It's Lehman and Gunter. And it's a race to see who is going to get up to the lead first.
Hunter Engrab trying to get into the top 10 past Joshua Rutherford. Of course, had another incident early on in this race. So after a very good start to the GT3 campaign for Engrab, you look at the front of that car. It is damaged quite significantly. Honestly, pretty surprised that Engram has not come down pit road at this point to take the fast repair. Oh, wow. Looked like maybe a little bit of contact there with Rutherford as well.
Oh, Kyle Zittle's gone around in 12th. In that same spot, we saw Ken Estep go for a spin, or rather Mike Pepper go for a spin. And I said that Lehman and, J.J. Wang off and around.
Oh, it hit the wall pretty hard there, too. Trying to get it turned around. Oh, my. Engrab and Rutherford barreling down upon him, but is able to get back on the track.
Brian D says he's pitting for a pair of shorts this time around.
Well, all of that action was happening. Johnny Hamby has gotten by Indica Scarlett here.
So it's the same 1-2 with a difference of about 10 seconds from last race to this race.
Definitely a lot of race left. Indica Scarlett trying to fight back, though. Scarlett has been very sporty here and is able to clear in front of Hamby.
To your point, Hunter Engraff down pit road. JJ Wang coming down pit road here as well.
Of course, those two with some damage. JJ's just happened, though. Hunter, I'm surprised Hunter did not come down pit road, 2 or 3 laps ago.
And Kenny Easted came down pit road as well from second place. So that battle with Hamby and Scarlett is for second. Or that's why that's for second, I guess. And I mentioned that Lehman and Gunter were the fastest drivers on track, but Josh Heggie says, put some respect on my name. He actually was the faster driver the last 2 laps in a row. So he doesn't want to be caught, that is for sure.
Boy, fight for the top 5 here in the GT3s is just a barn burner right now. Alford, Brian Deese, Brody Gunter, Kevin Burrows. They were trying to get it settled. And Deese and Alford trying to run from the cops right now.
Where are the lights when you need them? Gunter may have an opportunity into Canada corner, but Deese got through. The bend there better. Does it mean Gunter can't try an outbreak here? Into 12. Has a nose in. Doesn't want to use the pit maneuver even though he's in the cruiser. On the outside of 13, boy, Deese got awfully loose there. That'll allow Burrows to get through now as well.
Yeah, it looked like Deese had a really good opportunity to maybe hang on to that position, but just got a little bit loose there. Maybe off the curbing just a touch.
Lap times 2:06.2 for Heggie, 2:06.3 for Lehman, and 2:07.5 in the middle of the battle there for Brody Gunter. So it's still the race leader being faster than his pursuers. Which, fundamentally, ideally, that's how it should work.
Would it be nice if they could, close the gap a little bit?
Well, yeah.
For us.
Sure.
And for viewers.
Well, James is working.
Indica Scarlet a little bit off into the gravel trap. Miglin able to close right in. These two have been stuck together like glue here. Oh, Miglin down onto the grass as well.
I mean, these are two drivers that are pretty familiar with one another, but they're also two of our more aggressive drivers in the field. They are not afraid to throw bombs when bombs need to be thrown. So this should be fireworks here.
Miglin certainly threw a bomb on Corey Rutherford last night. If you haven't seen that clip, you need to join the Discord and go to the clips here section of the Discord and look at the latest that was posted. There is it's a gem of a video. We'll just say that.
Yeah, it's one of my new favorites that we've ever had here on the channel. It was hilarious.
The reaction from everybody in the booth was just fantastic.
Yes. Steve Roman had an off track. Rick Thompson, I believe, has eclipsed the drive-through penalty limit. So he is coming down pit road. Either that or he sped into pit road. I'm not 100% sure which happened first. Fortunately, I can't see the live track of incidents. Here come pit stops for James Lehman, Johnny Alford, Brian Deese, Kevin Bonomi, and Jarrell Williams. Brian Deese was speeding on pit road. Purple lap for Brody Gunter, who has now vaulted himself up to second. A lot happened there. Mike Pepper is in from the 11th position as well.
Couple of GT4s in as well, I believe. Rick Thompson was one of them. I thought I saw another. May have been Batista, not quite sure.
Thompson with a penalty to serve is going to drop most of his positions that he gained. On pit road exit, James Lehman, Johnny Alford, Kevin Bonomi, Jarrell Williams, and Mike Pepper. That's the same order they came in, except for Brian Deese, who has Dropped all those spots, serving that 40-second hold.
Joshua Hagee starting to have to work through a little bit of GT4 traffic here.
Yeah, Gunter 0.6 of a second quicker than Hagee last time. This is the clean air that we thought he was going to pit early to find. He didn't need to. He's found it.
Not a ton of close battles on the racetrack. The battle between Miglin and Scarlett has been settled for right now, and Miglin has come out on top. But I would not be surprised to see them come together again.
Joshua Rutherford has a penalty as well. Josh Hagee is coming to pit road from the race lead. Speeding is an issue here. Don't speed into pit road. Indica Scarlett
coming in as
well. And, yep, Brody Gunter. Kevin Burrows, Corey Rutherford. No speeding penalties in this group here. So that is good news.
So let's see where James comes out in relationship to Joshua Hagee. Matt Schlosser is going to take over the lead for right now, but still has to come down pit road. Lehman just out of the final corner, coming up the hill down the front straight.
Through this pit cycle, Brody Gunter was a second quicker.
And Hagee just now getting out onto the racetrack, still ahead of Lehman. Definitely a smaller gap.
Much smaller. 2.5 seconds.
I was going to say it's at least a couple seconds probably. And Lehman able to work quickly through GT4 traffic and is clear up to Hagee now.
That gap was, I think, 4 seconds. Hagee, to your point, worked through some GT4 traffic. Lehman just had to work through some GT4 traffic as well. Gunter, I think, is the big beneficiary thus far, but he's got to work through this GT4 traffic now.
And his own class, Johnny Alford, right in front of him as well.
Yeah, Alford, the points leader, by the way. Guess we should throw some respect on his name here as well. Battling for a position inside the top 5, where you can find him most races here on Wednesday nights. Dave Seats will pit from the GT4 lead. Johnny Hamby will follow him in. Hamby's been lapping a little bit quicker than Seats these last couple of laps, but I mean, that gap is still monstrous. Dan Miglin in from 3rd as well. Still waiting pit stop from Matt Schlosser at the front of the field, and it will be happening right now.
This should be everybody has made their pit stop now as the front runners in GT4 class down pit road and Matt Schlosser should complete the pit cycle.
Yeah, it's Alex Howland just ahead of the 400 of Schlosser. Here comes Josh Hagee. To Hagee's credit, that gap shrunk over the pit cycle, but he's opened it back up here to over 3 seconds on this lap.
And both leaders are going to be right here together before too long. Dave Seats just out of the pits with Hagee right behind here.
Our favorite part of the night. Oh, problem for Kevin Burrows. He's gone off and around in turn number 1. So, man, that was a top 5 run for him, and that is dashed.
You know, we really haven't seen anybody really get off track badly there down into turn 1. It was bound to happen at some point.
Gunter and Alford here. Going to be battling for 3rd momentarily. Gunter dropped a wheel off into the little sand pit there through turn 5. But he is closing in on the man they call Bags. fighting for a podium. Oh, Brian Deese and Kyle Zittel have gotten together, I think, for the second time here today.
And Deese, I think, was running pretty well into the top 10, but now pretty well outside.
Well, had that big slip up there, battling with Brody Gunter through Canada corner and through turn 13. I believe picked up a pit road penalty is what got Deese further back in the pack. Gunter still trying to get around Johnny Alford here. Gap continuing to grow up front. Josh Hagee doing what he needs to do to try and bring home a checkered flag for the first time this season. Problems for Corey Rutherford. He has picked up a meatball flag.
Brody Gunter, Johnny Alford just worked through Dave Seats. Gunter right on the heels of Alford, but has not found his spot to try and make a lunge.
More problems for Kevin Burrows. He has dropped from 5th to 11th on this lap. He went wide into the final turn, into the sand trap. This here through the cattle bottoms might be a great opportunity for Brody Gunter to throw a dart and see what sticks. He's got some positioning here to the inside.
Oh,
Alford going to be boxed
well.
out. That was Fred Thompson, and that is going to be good enough for Gunter to get onto the podium.
Yeah, nothing for Thompson to do. Just trying to stay as far to the outside as possible without getting into the grass, but just not much room to work with here. Pretty skinny track width.
Good opportunism there by Brody Gunter. He says that's the first pick he's ever set. I find that hard to believe.
Nick Batista trying to get into the top 5 here in the GT4 class. That would be getting past Ken Estep. Batista not quite having the night that he would like to here.
Certainly not. And we mentioned Johnny Hamby chipping away at Dave Seats' lead as well. Last lap, Dave Seats was 2.5 seconds quicker. So Hamby found some problems out there. And now
Batista is going to find his way to the inside here in Canada, but not quite able to. Oh, Estep going to go a little wide, though.
Estep keeps the door open. Has the inside positioning, but will tuck back into line behind Batista. So move Nick Batista back into the top 5 now.
Johnny Alford has no time to relax. Kevin Bonomi now has Alford in his sights.
Been a very quiet night for Kevin Bonomi.
Yeah, he had to work his way through. He did not get a great start. The first few laps really didn't make many positions up at all after the invert, and has kind of been fighting for his life, but has made up a lot of positions here in the last few laps and done well since the pit stop, getting to the inside of Alford here, but won't have the preferred line through the right-hander.
Yeah, Bonomi with back-to-back feature wins in rounds, or weeks 2 and 3 rather, at Oschersleben and Imola. Trying to get one position closer to getting back on the podium. Speaking of the podium runners, last time around, James Lehman was the quicker of the 3. He is continuing to eat into the gap here. It's just hovering around 3 seconds.
I think Lehman maybe had to find his footing after the pit stop. Was in a really, really nice groove before he came down pit road, and just took him a lap or two to kind of find it, and has now got it dialed in.
3 or 4 laps to go, depending on how quickly Josh Hagee can work around Road America. And that is a personal best lap for James Lehman last time around.
Kevin Benobi gonna take a look to the inside down here into turn 1. And makes it stick. And Tommy, you mentioned personal best for Lehman. Unfortunately, only 2 100ths faster than Joshua Hagee.
And 3/10 quicker than both of them, Brody Gunter, who is reading the top 2 their Miranda rights over the radio right now. he's all in on the gimmick all of a sudden.
I love it.
Unfortunately for them, lap times don't mean anything if you're not within front bumper swiping range here in the final lap. They've still got 3 seconds and 3.5 seconds to catch each other.
Johnny Hamby and Dave Seats in the GT4 class have just kind of been swapping lap times here. Hamby will be a second quicker one lap. Seats will be a second quicker the next. So still just under 10-second gap between the two.
Yeah, this is certainly Seats to lose at this point, but Road America can reach out and grab the best of them. So don't be counting any chickens or eggs yet.
Wow. Kyle Zittel really outbreaks Joshua Rutherford down there in the downhill. Able to get up to 14th.
Johnny Offord pulling back up here on Kevin Bonomi after Bonomi made that pass. Bonomi trying to stay in 4th. And it's once again Brody Gunter, the quicker of the 3.
And Lehman quicker than Heggie again as well.
This time by 2/10.
Problem
Still,
is,
3 seconds and only a couple laps to go.
2/10 at a time is not going to get it done with the remaining amount of race left.
I think Hagee is where he wants to be. Of course, that's kind of a Captain Obvious statement, but I mean, especially having the track position here makes it that much easier down the stretch. Not a lot of places you can stick a move, at least reasonably. But with a win on the line, how much are we reasoning? That's the real question.
All I know is Lehman is seeing red right now, probably trying everything he can. It is not going to be from a lack of trying, that's for sure.
Certainly not. 4 minutes to go.
We haven't really been on board much tonight. Let's go ahead and go on board with James Lehman trying to track down your race leader. Take a little whirl around Road America here for a few corners.
Should have 2 laps to go. Brody Gunter, purple lap. And Hagee quicker than Lehman. Lehman pushing hard there. That's an easy corner to overdrive. Lehman going to catch the 46 of Fred Thompson in an awkward spot here, right when he's trying to apex for this corner. Boy, he cleared him by maybe 6 inches.
Yeah, and Lehman, I don't think is even looking towards Higgy at this point. Might be looking in the rear view. Gunter is coming in a hurry.
I was just about to say that. Gunter is pulling up. He's going to make a challenge here for second, no doubt.
Hunter Engrav trying to make his way around Johnny Alford now as well. That would be to get into the top 5. Whoa! Gets that thing way on out. Lucky to not have a bigger incident there. Once you touch the grass, it can be hard to get that car under control, but does a nice job and really doesn't lose that much time either.
Up the hill, white flag, Joshua Hagee. 4 miles to go for win number 1 on the season, a long-awaited one at that. And we can stop looking at the times now, and for James Lehman, start looking in those mirrors. Brody Gunter closing inside of a second and a half. It's doable. Especially since he was a 2 3/4 quicker last time around.
Yeah, Lehman had a couple of bobbles there in that last lap that really cost him some time. Has to get the head on straight here and have a good one.
More GT4 traffic ahead. As speaking of the GT4s, Dave Seats is coming through turn 14 right now. No challenge at all. Seats should be able to take this one to a victory pretty easy. 10-second gap over Johnny Hamby. Gap is closing. Could almost start to measure it in car lengths now for Lehman ahead of Gunter. But opportunities dwindling here for the reigning champ. Rick Thompson will stay off to the right. It will hamper Gunter's exit, and that may be just enough. Oh, Hunter Engrave pushing it in 6th, challenging for 5th, has eclipsed the drive-through penalty limit.
Oh, wow.
That is unfortunate. That's just the cherry on top of a pretty rough night for Hunter Engrave. Gunter inside of his second, for second. But only 2 turns to go. One final turn for Joshua Hagee to navigate, and he does it. The 099 finally going to be on the top step here after a great feature race here at Road America. Joshua Hagee is back to victory lane. And James Lehman is going to survive for second. Brody Gunter, his best drive through the field yet this season, will round out the podium. But Hagee with a long-awaited trip back to victory lane here. Win number 3 of his ASRL Sports Car Championship career, first of the season. Dave Seats. Don't want anybody to panic, but he gave up 0.4 of a second last time around. He may only win this race by 9 seconds.
Only.
Johnny Hamby, bless his heart, he's trying. But that is a huge gap to overcome. Dave Seats took his 11th career ASRL Sports Car Championship victory earlier tonight. And it'll be Seats to sweep for victory number 12, win number 2 on the season. Johnny Hamby and Dan Miglin on the podium here. Nice run for driver 31. As long as he makes it through turn 14, that is. And he does. Joshua Hagee Coming back through Canada corner here and giving it one more lap. The old sprint car mentality. Push hard for one lap just in case he saw the run flag. And Hagee will slow down here, and I'm sure light him up. Finally can stop hearing me yammer on about nice run, but
Yeah. No butts here tonight.
No, the only butt is the one he drove off tonight. And that'll conclude the celebrations here. The libations on the way, I'm sure, for Joshua Hagee, who will take his first win of the season. James Lehman, we'll talk to him momentarily. Brady Gunter then will round out your podium. Kevin Bonomi and Johnny Alford round out your top 5. Jarrell Williams will move up to 6 after the penalty for Hunter Engraf. It'll be J.J. Wang in 7th, Matt Schlosser in 8th, Mike Pepper and Kevin Burrows your top 10. Engraf will finish then in 11th with a time penalty. Brian Deese will finish in 12th, Kyle Zittel 13th, Joshua Rutherford in 14th, Andy Poliski, Steve Roman, Dave Payton. Your 17 finishers, Casey Campbell will finish 18th in class. Dave Seitz with the GT4 win, Johnny Hamby in 2nd. Hopefully we'll talk to both of them momentarily. It'll be Dan Miglin in 3rd, Indica Scarlett in 4th, and Nick Batista will round out your top 5. Kenny Stepp in 6th, Alex Howland in 7th, Rick Thompson, Fred Thompson, Corey Rutherford, and a DNS from Rhett Nichols to round out the finishing order here tonight for the feature at Road America. We'll go in search of Johnny Hamby. We'll get to talk to both of the maximum velocity drivers here tonight, as they both finished 2nd in their respective classes. Well, welcome in, Johnny Hamby, back to booth 200. Pretty good run for you here tonight. 2 second places, not a bad take out of Road America.
As you well know, I'm great at finishing 2nd.
Well, hey, maybe it's me because I wasn't here last week and you got the win.
I did get a win.
So I'm back.
That's true. That's true. It may be you. Who knows, man? Now Dave was fast in that heat race. He was just so solid. I had a couple of places I could gain some on him, but he had to make a mistake. I had some internet issues in the main. I was laying him down. I had Dave a couple of cars behind me, and I think I could have taken the main if I could have gotten as far enough ahead of him. But my internet, everything disappeared. I wanted to get out of everybody's way, so I dropped back. Just didn't want to ruin anybody else's race, and then just fought my way back to 2nd. So I'm sweating.
Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on another great run here. Going back to the dash race as well. I mean, you were putting all the pressure on Dave there, and just weren't quite able to get it done. But I mean, how'd you feel about your night overall? Because you had a couple of great runs, just couldn't quite get it done there in the first race.
Yeah, like I said, he was just everywhere. Everywhere I was strong, he seemed to be pretty strong too. A couple of places I could gain some on him, but he just had a little bit too much for me in that heat race. So I'll take it, but still trying to learn this GT4 a little bit too, man. It's a drive is still a little different than GT3.
Yeah, there are a couple points where not you, but like just about everybody in the field looking like they were having some difficulty keeping it under control, under braking, especially at a couple of these sweeping turns here. It looked a bit difficult out here in Road America tonight, as you would expect. But leave it to the best to finish 1-2 in both races here tonight. And we'll know it's me, by the way, if you win tomorrow night at Darlington.
There we go. Yeah, be looking for that one. Yeah.
Well, let's get some shout-outs going for you as usual.
Oh, shout out to these guys for putting on this great series, having a great time. Me and Lehman are really enjoying running as a team. He had some issues earlier in the season, but he's been running really strong lately. So I feel like as a team, we're gonna be up there. So just having a blast doing this. Thanks for you guys for a great broadcast. It's a lot of fun to watch. So yeah, just appreciate it.
We'll go get them tomorrow night. Congrats on the P2s here tonight.
Thanks, fellas.
And ships passing in the night. We'll move Dave Seats back into booth 200 here and welcome him back up as a winner for the second time here tonight. Congrats on another victory. This one was a little bit less pressure-filled than the last one.
That it was. Unfortunately, it looked like Johnny had some technical issues in the beginning. Otherwise, I think it would have been one hell of a race, that whole 40 minutes.
I agree. You two were doing a fantastic work up front in the dash race. But, I mean, you still did have to make a couple of passes there, a couple of crucial passes for second and then for the lead. I mean, early in the going here, when the intensity is still kind of high and the adrenaline is wearing off, you're not quite settled in. That's an interesting point in the race to try and get passes for crucial positions done.
Oh, it definitely is. You just gotta be aggressive, but be clean. Like, try to set up a pass or, kind of just get in the person's head a little bit, get them to run a little wide, give you the inside.
Matt, what do you got here for the race winner?
Yeah, congrats on the sweep here tonight, Dave. And I mean, coming into tonight, how are you feeling? You looked really confident, really comfortable out there on the track. But how are you feeling there in the cockpit?
I was just happy to be back in the Mercedes. We didn't have the paint ready for the beginning of the season. The painter got the paint done for us, and we were able to get in a car with some power, and it felt great.
Well, I'm sure it feels great to be on the top step for 2 times in a row here tonight. Congrats on the sweep, and shout-outs again for you, including anybody that you may have forgot the first time around.
I think I got them all. You guys and the league admins and their sponsors for putting this together for us to race every week. Then TLDR, my teams, and my sponsor, Full Sun Graphics, for getting that sweet Mercedes paint done so we can put it on track tonight.
Well, there you go. Congrats on another win here. Looking forward to many more down the road.
Thank you, gentlemen. Have yourselves a good evening.
Just saw James Lehman. There he is. Moved into the big chat. So we will pull up James Lehman into booth 200. Welcome back, partner. Congrats on P2 here.
Thank you. Finally, right?
Yeah. I mean, this was an interesting race. Where we were watching 3 guys race, but really they weren't ever around each other on the track at all. I mean, it was a time trial battle basically between you, Hagee, and Brody Gunter there for a while until the final lap.
Yeah, it definitely was a time race. I'm not gonna lie. Whenever that pit stop cycle happened, I definitely lost like 3 seconds on the out lap there. So that's where me and Joshua would definitely have been a lot closer if that didn't happen.
I know you were pushing hard there at the end. I heard something over the radio about you maybe cooking the front tires a little bit. I would imagine, especially with how aggressive you drive here, that's an easy thing to do at a track that is this difficult.
Oh, for sure. I think that's the only downfall about the Mercedes is it's got the engine in the front. So it's got a lot more front weight, so it depends on the front tires a lot. And once you start cooking them, they're gone. They're just gone. You got to back off for at least 2 laps to cool them off.
Well, Matt, what do we got for our buddy Lamar James here?
Yeah, congrats on the podium here. I mean, you have been looking more and more comfortable as the season has rolled along. What was it about tonight? Just a culmination of all the efforts you've been putting in, or did you have a lot of confidence in this track in particular? Or I mean, what kind of brought it all together here tonight?
Mainly, I think it's just the getting more and more comfortable with everybody, learning how everybody drives, and just getting more comfortable with the car. And I love Road America. I love it so much, but I also have a hate relationship with it too, because you can get off track so easily here, and then it can send the car sideways. So, for sure.
Well, you managed to handle it very well here tonight, and indeed, I'm very happy to watch a race at Road America. But yeah, driving it's a different story. But glad I could broadcast a P2 for you here tonight. We'll get you one better here soon. But in the meantime, let's get some shout-outs for you.
Just shout out to ASRL. They put on a good Wednesday night series. I've been looking for a road series and found this place, and it's been great, and I love it. I'm gonna continue racing it. Yeah, and shout out to Max V for we're top of the points for team points, and we're definitely gonna extend our lead after this week for sure.
Well, good work to you and Johnny here tonight, and keep it up. We'll talk to you again soon.
See you guys tomorrow.
And now, the long-awaited trip to the top of the podium here. Josh Hagee is a winner once again here with the ASRL Sports Car Championship. I mean, you've been racking and stacking the podiums here this season, so we've got to talk to you plenty, but it's great to get to talk to you as a race winner once again.
Yep, finally. It was tough. I had some accident avoidance there on the first lap. And it's hard. I took that running behind some of these cars and the high speeds. I got like 5 off tracks on the first couple laps, and I got a clean track to work with once I got up front. So I didn't want to get in trouble with that with having such a good race.
What's more unnerving here at a track like Road America? Having somebody challenging you for position right behind you for a long time, or watching the intervals for an entire race? Because I would imagine they're both pretty nerve-wracking in their own ways.
Yeah, I do enough laps to where I'm my own measuring stick. I think it's pretty easy if you get out there by yourself in the lead or not. It's easy to get complacent, and I don't look at my lap times a lot. They're usually fairly consistent. I wasn't like putting burners up the whole race, but I think I was just keeping them back there. Had a good pit stop. Didn't go so well in the first race. I think I went off at turn 1 on the first race. But redemption. And I was debating even racing today because my birthday was yesterday, and I maybe drank a little bit, stayed up a little too late. But hey, good birthday present. Good thing I did.
Yeah, you bought yourself a good present, and you get to do it all again here tonight to celebrate the win as well. Matt, what do you got?
Yeah, congrats on the race win. I mean, once you got out front, you had clear track to work with and drove it quite nicely. But talk to me about the beginning of the race, having to work through quite a bit of traffic there in the beginning. It looked more chaotic out there this race than it did in the dash race, that's for sure.
Yeah, I got pretty close. I think it was Steve. I got on his left door in that tight left before the Speedville, and then he doored me in Speedville, and I thought I was gonna go off there because I was already like way on the outside of the track, and he came up and a little trading paint. But it was a lot of fun. And then Hunter spun. I think he spun in the first race too. I had a car blocking me. I just managed to see him spin in front of the car that was in front of me, and was able to kind of take my time figuring out which way I needed to go because he came all the way across the track. So I was lucky to avoid that one as well.
Well, I think the mid-season award for the best burnout of the season thus far goes to you. Way to burn it down here on the front stretch, and way to get another win, 3rd here with the ASRL Sports Car Championships. Congratulations to you. Anybody you want to shout out or say hi to?
Renee Garcia, ESGI Graphics, the Black Ice crew that gives our caller commentary in our Discord. Tommy Cook, Matt Williamson, and the league admins. I normally leave those guys out, Rick and Corey. There may be someone else I'm forgetting for setting all this up. And what else? Forget something. Oh well, we'll do it. I get shout out to Adele again. I'm trying to get her damn number. Turns out it's kind of hard.
Well, I mean, if you keep winning, you're going to find it eventually.
Hey, it might be important.
Okay.
I'll talk to you guys later.
All right. Congrats on the win. We'll get you another one here soon. We'll find Adele's number for you. I can't drag him down to his team. Why can't I drag? Anyway, yeah, I kind of forgot about the Adele gimmick. That's funny. I hope he wins again real soon. Anyway, I mean, good night of racing here at Road America. That's your typical Road America night.
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, like we said at the top of the broadcast, we're looking forward to this one for sure, and it certainly delivered. A couple of really great races, good battles all throughout the field. I mean, that feature race from the top to the bottom of the GT3 class was pretty heavily contested, and the top 5, top 6 there in the GT4 class had some really great battles there as well. So yeah, shout out to all the drivers for putting in the work here tonight, and everybody else that was watching here. Don Golden, Miss Goodleaf, Indica Scarlett was here in the chat between the races. Jeff Mathis earlier, Renee Garcia, and I think that was it. Thank you guys for chatting with us here tonight. We had quite a few viewers here tonight as well, so anybody else that was watching, thank you for tuning in. I will see you guys tomorrow night. Tommy has a special little treat upon himself for tomorrow, but I'll be solo for the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series tomorrow night.
And that'll be at Darlington. That'll be a blast. One other thing to point out as we close this one up, I'd say Brody Gunther finally getting a full good night, 2 podiums here at Road America for Brody Gunther. Not the best night for the competition around him, so he may be poised to at least move up 1 spot, if not take the points lead. That's something to keep in mind before we head back into competition next week at Suzuka for the ASRL Sports Car Championship. A couple races happening between now and then. Of course, the Max V CNC Home Designs Truck Series tomorrow night from Darlington, the Matt Williamson Special Show. Tomorrow night at 9:15 p.m. Eastern Time, 3 o'clock p.m. Eastern Time on Sunday afternoon. It's the Sunday Top Split Strength of Field broadcast for the Mission Art Challenge from the Nürburgring. We'll be back together to cover 3 laps around the big track for the Mission Art Challenge. That'll be a blast. And then, back here to Suzuka. Only a few weeks out from Tuesday night action becoming a regular thing. Of course, if you missed last night's stream for the Great Nate race, that is an absolute blast. You need to go watch that. So many memorable moments. Many memorable moments. Go watch the Great Nate race. But the Venom Truck Series will be back here in just a couple weeks' time. I'm sure we'll be live streaming from the driver's perspective the Venom Clash to open up the season at Daytona. And then it'll be the first ever playoff format for the Venom Truck Series coming up here in just a couple of weeks. And also, another thing to keep in mind, I think we're about a month out from the start of the RIL Figure 8 Frenzy. We're having a 4-week special event series hosted by Dakota DeMade and the RIL group of Figure 8 racing between Irwindale and Slinger. If you want more information on that, if you want to come out and race with that, come join our Discord server. Link is in the description below. You can come hang out with us on Monday nights, Tuesday nights, Wednesday nights, Thursday nights, whatever night you want to hang out with us. We'll be here, and we've always got something cooking here on Turn 200. Thank you to everybody that was hanging out with us in the chat. Thank you to everybody with the American Sim Racing League. Thank you to Eminent Signs and Graphics. Thank you to CJR Graphics. Thank you to Mullet Music Productions. Thank you to everybody that's helped grease the wheels around here on Turn 200, as well as Echo Blade, Pocket FM, and Whiplash Sim Cams as well. Thank you to everybody that associates with us here on Turn 200. That's all we got for you. Until we meet again here from Road America, for myself, Tommy Cook, for the GOAT, Mr. Matt Williamson, we're saying so long, and congratulations to Dave Seats on the sweep, and to Brody Gunther and Josh Heggie on the wins in the GT3 class here around the big track. Have a good night, everybody. This has been a live broadcast on Turn 200. Be sure to hit subscribe and hit the bell to get notified of when we go live next. Thank you very much for joining us, and we'll see you again soon.